you have been given a sample of sand or soil to measure. How will you measure it? Now this becomes very simple. What you can do is that here you need to get a box. You can get a box. That's very simple, a rectangular or a square box. Then you fill the sand you fill the sand to the brim of the box. Now the moment you fill, let's say that the box, let's say you have your box here, and then you fill the sand to the brim. So you realize that the brim is just at the top, it's full. It means it's full. So you can get the volume of the sand by taking the length times the breadth times the height. That's how you can get the volume. Now after that, after getting the volume, what you need to do is that you have to first of all measure the empty, find the mass, also the mass of the empty box, then you find the mass of the empty box. So let's say the mass of the empty box is m1, and then you find the mass of the box together with the sand, then that will be m2. So to get the mass of the sand, you have to subtract m2 minus m1. That's how you can get the mass. Then after that, you can find the density. Therefore the density of the sand becomes what you obtained, m2 minus m1 all over the volume that you obtained, that was L3. So that's how you can get the volume of a sand. Or there are other means, but that you can also use the volumetric flask, or you can use the measuring cylinder, where you pour the sand into it. The level that rises becomes the volume. The level of water that the liquid rises to becomes the volume, and then you can measure it using the same process as well. Now let's talk about relative density. Now relative density is the density of an object compared with the density of water. Now take this. Anytime you hear relative, it means something is being compared with. It is being compared with something. So sometimes we say intelligence is relative. It means that it is compared. You understand? So it's not fixed. It's not constant. It's being compared with something else. So relative density is the density of any substance over the density of water. That's very simple. So let's say I want to find and then it is used. The object used to measure relative density is the relative density bottle. Relative density bottle. But sometimes to some people, you can use the hydrometer. Hydrometer. Yes, you can use the hydrometer too. So here, let's say so that's relative density. And you always have to ensure that when measuring if you want to measure using the relative density bottle, you have to ensure that your hand is not warm. You understand? Let's say you want to use the bottle. So this is how the bottle looks like. This is how the bottle looks like. Not that, but then sorry. So something like this. So it's not that perfect, and then it has a knob. So there is it. So in this case, when you pour the water, okay, let's say you want to take the density. Let me draw it for. It is not that appealing. It's not appealing at all. So let me try and draw it very well. Yeah, okay, I think this is better. So here, so when you want to find the density, okay, when you want to find the density, you first of all have to determine the mass of the empty relative bottle by using any instrument, beam balance, electronic balance, or lever balance. Then you fill, so it's the same process that we have discussed earlier. Then you fill it with water and then reweigh, right? So after reweighing, you can make it M1. So we first have to weigh the empty bottle, then you fill it with water and then reweigh. And then also you empty and dry. It's very important. You empty and dry the bottle before you fill the liquid that you, be it oil or whatsoever liquid that you want to measure, and then you fill it also into it. Then you also have to take its mass by measuring. Then from there you have the mass, so the mass will be obtained. Okay, you get the mass, and then also you take, so that mass that you have, if you got 45, then you have to take equal volume of water. You understand? So it means that 45 over equal volume of water over equal mass of equal volume of water. So this is it. So after you've obtained the mass of the liquid, let's say you obtain the mass of the liquid to be 45, okay, then you also, so this is the mass, and you're going to take the mass, so let's say mass of equal volume of water, you're going to take 45